Most people do not have a clue about how to actually attract the kind of business builders that help your team grow. And we're going to break that down today. So, for many of you, you probably know that I opened up a network marketing confidence school for people that are one, tired of paying the big bucks to get bad advice, two, are tired of struggling and are showing up but super confused about what their next steps are. Three, just don't resonate with what they're being taught. And four, don't want to lose their soul, their spouses, their whole beingness and family, because that's exactly why we all started our own businesses, was to have more time with our family. But you know that there's a different way to do it. And I'm here to tell you that there is. I'm also here to tell you that there are some things that you just never heard. And I'm going to preface heard. Sometimes someone told you, but you just weren't ready for the message, so you didn't hear it. But what I find is 9 times out of 10 that the network marketing world, even the digital marketing, the coaching space has all been overtaken by this crazy hype mentality that creates an unrealistic expectation that leaves people feeling like they don't really know what's going on. In addition to that, what I see is decades of people learning from the people that came before them, and very few people in these spaces actually go outside of the space to see what is going on in the real world, which means that we're just recycling the same kind of bro hype that, if you're listening to this podcast, is not part of who you are. So I'm Genevieve. I'm a former C-suite executive of a $500 million network marketing brand. I have built my own network marketing business up to the highest levels in a network marketing company as a distributor. And I also have decades of learning and development experience, which means that I actually get not only what it's like to be a distributor, I also understand what it's like to run the business from the inside and see tens of thousands of distributors' businesses. But I also know how to tell people how to make it work for them because I understand how people learn. So I want to tell you some of the basics that I don't hear anyone talking about anymore, which is part of what you are struggling with. Recruiting new business partners. Now, I would tell you a long time ago, I started using the word sponsoring. And I started using the word sponsoring because sponsoring implies a relationship that goes past someone signing on the dotted line. Most of the network marketing world is still talking about recruiting, which implies that once you're done, once you sign up, I am done and I go and look for someone else to quote unquote recruit. When you sponsor someone, you bring with it an energy of mentorship, an energy of leadership, and an energy of we are going to partner on this journey together, which is exactly the kind of energy you want to bring. So words matter. Words create energy for both you and the person that you are sponsoring. And I know for sure that when I talk to people, say, would you rather recruit people or sponsor them? 9.9 times out of 10 people say I would 100% rather sponsor someone. So we're going to talk about sponsoring business builders, which is a different conversation than acquiring and keeping customers. So the first mistake that I see people make is not understanding that the sponsoring conversation starts from day one with how you show up in your business. What I mean by that is a long time ago, we used to talk about this, and I don't know why we don't talk about it as much anymore, but everyone is watching you. And we get all freaked out about like, oh my gosh, people are watching and judging. I don't care about the judgers who are watching me because they're never going to do anything with me anyway. Who I care about the most are the lurkers. I care most about the people watching carefully and not engaging with my content, who will be a future business builder because they are watching. They know they have a problem. They don't want to raise their hand yet because they're skeptical. And they're evaluating, hear me when I say this, they're evaluating every single thing you do through one filter only. Can I or do I want to do that? And that, the fill in the blank for that, is where so many of you are losing the game from the get-go. So what I mean by that is there are parts of you that do things that you know do not feel authentic. There are parts of you that do things that you copy from other people because you think, oh my gosh, they know what they're doing. This is working for them. The truth is, it's actually not. You are learning things that benefit sometimes the upline because it brings in business for the month, but it does not create long-term stability. Now, I used to work inside of network marketing and direct sales companies. My job as kind of the revenue person was to ensure that we always had sales coming in, because let me just tell you from Business 101, sales equals cash. There has to be sales coming in the door. So for every person that is part of a network marketing business where you are like kind of lacklusterly excited about your business and wondering what you can do to turn this thing around, you've got to be bringing in customers, bringing in and keeping customers. Keeping is the key word here. You do not want to be replacing customers. You want to be keeping customers. Why? Because no company has a money tree in the backyard that when sales are down, they go and pick the cash off the tree and bring it in and pay for stuff. And by the way, that stuff is your trips. That stuff is your commission. That stuff is the speakers, the conferences, the people that work there. All of the things are driven by cash coming in the door. Different conversation completely, except that the way that you create exponential sales growth is by adding sellers to the equation. Adding sellers to the equation. So if each person coming onto your team had the objective of, you know what your objective is? Your objective is over time, hear me when I say this, over time to get 20 customers reordering every month for products. I call them super customers. That's the objective, right? The objective is if you want stable income, you're going to do that as your baseline, And yes, every single month you'll have new people coming in who either don't go on auto ship, who purchase one or two products a month. But if you want to get out of hustle mode, you want to have this core standard of behavior that builds a business. So it stands to reason that the more people you have looking to create a core group of 20 customers, this is how you're going to create exponential growth. Now, in network marketing, since everyone is lurking, right? Since the people who are watching you, even the people who aren't lurking, maybe that even your best customers who might consider doing the business, everyone is watching what you're doing. And I'm going to repeat this and asking themselves the question, can I or do I want to do that? Now, if you've got a really big personality, sometimes it's hard for people to relate to you because they say to themselves, self, she can do that because she's her, right? It's like, oh, that's easy for her because of who she is. And then they disqualify themselves before they ever even talk to you because they're like, oh, they're funny or they're outgoing or they don't give a rip, so they're willing to say whatever. Those are things that we say on the inside don't duplicate. They do not duplicate. Meaning, too many people say, I can't or I don't want to do that. As I was bringing people into this network marketing community, several people have had one-on-ones with me, and I am hearing so many people say, you know what, love my upline, or I have the dream upline, or this upline is incredible. And then they follow it with, but I don't want to build the way that they are building. I do not want to build the way they are building. Now, this translates into activity in this particular way. Number one, don't ever do anything that as you're doing it, you're thinking ick. Don't do it. Why? Because our nervous systems do something called co-regulating, which means that people actually feel what you feel, even though you think that they don't. So many people will say to me, oh, but my team doesn't know. Yeah, well, they do. They do. They feel it. They feel it. They can't help but not feel it. It's actually science. You co-regulate to the people that you are around and talking to. That's why if you hang out with negative people long enough, you will become negative. But the converse is true, right? The opposite is true. If I hang out with successful, positive people enough, then I too will start to be more successful and positive because the nervous system co-regulates. It's a survival mechanism. It's always looking for safety, not necessarily growth, remember, but it's looking for safety. So when you are on social media, which is the preferred platform for most people, right? There's social media, there's one-on-one conversations, there's DMing and texting. All of those things are a constant commercial for this is how I work my business and asking you to judge whether or not you can see yourself doing this thing as well. So you've got to understand from the get-go that if you are doing things that feel spammy, hypey, slimy, inauthentic to you, regardless of how many times you show up and continue to do that, 100% your audience is feeling it too. And that's why it's not working. So mistake number one is you show up inauthentically. You do things that you think you're supposed to do or that somebody said works for them. And it may work for them in the minute, in the moment, in the month, but it is absolutely not a long-term strategy. And you know it, right? I want to teach you to trust your gut. Trust your gut. If it feels weird, it is weird. If it feels weird, it's perceived as weird. Figure out a way to make it not weird. And there are plenty of those. So number one today, what I want you to do is I want you to audit your social media. I want you to audit your social media from the perspective of somebody who's lurking around and asking themselves, do I want to do what she does? What does it look like that she does? So if every day I am posting some sort of random product post and I'm asking you to buy every single day, or if I am constantly posting things, the specials, the this, the that, like there's just hype, 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 hype. I want you to ask yourself what kind of person feels comfortable doing that. Now I'm not going to say there aren't some, because there are some people that like they just don't care. Their skin is so incredibly thick, they do not care. What I have found is this is not the case for most people. So there are some things that I know, and you know what I'm talking about, that you see and you're like, not going to do that. I want to give you permission to not do that. However, you've got to replace it with something that feels authentic to you. So hear me loud and clear. I'm not telling you not do anything. I'm telling you, you can say no to that, but you have to replace it with something else. So what do you replace it with? Well, it starts with, what do you really want from your business? Reason number two that people struggle with business builders is that you don't really have a goal. All you know is that if I got people, I'd make more money, which I got to tell you, on the motivation scale is kind of low. It's kind of low. I want to bring people in so that they can make me money is really a horrible place to come from. Again, people will feel that, and it comes across as self-serving. So if you've ever seen some things and you're like, that feels self-serving, probably it is self-serving. And honestly and truly, the person saying that at some level knows it too, but yet we somehow say like, this is okay. So when I started in my network marketing career, I will be honest with you, I was completely a skeptic for a long time, even after I joined the business. There were so many things I told my upline, like, and listen, I was not the ideal. Like in some ways I was like the ideal person to recruit, but in a lot of ways I was way too judgy, and I was way too discerning, and I wanted my business to look savvy because the people I wanted to attract were already making six-figure incomes. The people that I wanted to attract already had leadership jobs in other businesses. I had to portray something that would be inviting to someone that was already successful. I wasn't looking to recruit my third cousin who just got out of prison, or, whatever, right? I wasn't looking to help people from the standpoint of you need the help. I was looking for people who wanted to help. And that was distinctly different. They wanted to help themselves. They wanted to help other people like themselves. And they wanted to be a part of a community of people that wanted to bring a new level of health and wellness to people that otherwise wouldn't be given that opportunity. So when I started, I thought it was just a sales job, and I tried. I really did. I thought to myself, you know what? I'm really good at sales. So let me just sell my way to the top of this company. Nobody explained to me that that's not how it was done. The way that network marketing is supposed to work is it is not supposed to look like an at-home sales job. My biggest beef in network marketing right now is too many of y'all are out there hustling like you're at-home salespeople, and then you wonder why people don't want to join your team when we all know most people do not enjoy selling. But the way you make your business look is that it is a sales job. Now, that's not to say that you're not selling, but I prefer to be thinking about what you're doing is you're leading people through transformations, which means that I'm not constantly posting in a way that just implies buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. So back to mistake number 2. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? Because why am I going to join your team if you aren't taking me on a journey that appeals to me? Do you talk about that on social? Do you let people know, hey, what I'm building over here is a business for middle-aged women who are kind of tired of hustling, or I'm building a business where stay-at-home moms or moms that just had babies can actually work from home, have a meaningful career, and still raise their families. What's your story, Morning Glory? Like, what is the story? Are you talking about those things? Or are you just out there talking about if you recruit 5 people, if you recruit 10 people, if you do X, Y, or Z? Like, people join you because of what you're doing and where you're going more than they'll ever join a company. And this is one thing that has changed. It has changed over the last 10 years. You used to join a network marketing company and you would pitch the company. It would be like, you are going to love this company. And it was about the brand that the company had and the goodwill that that brand had. We are in a trust recession right now, which means that people don't believe corporations. They actually don't even really believe you. But what they want to believe is that the person that they like will not lead them down the wrong path. People are buying from you because they like you. They like what you represent. They like how you talk about what you represent. And people that want to join your team are going to do the same thing. You want to think about your business opportunity as a product. Most people have no trouble selling products, but they have really big problems selling the opportunity. They're the same. Like, if you can sell product, you can sell the opportunity. You just swap out certain things and you talk about that as much as you talk about your products. And what I find is that people who are struggling to bring in business builders never talk about what it's like to work with you. Are you telling people, hey, okay, but I'm going to back up here. I'm going to assume that you went to your social media and you did an audit and you're like, I got to show up a little bit differently. I got to show up as a business owner and not some random side hustle, Hannah. I need to show up as a leader of a community, someone who helps transform people's lives, and not someone who's super transactional and just looks for like 20 people a month to do X, Y, or Z. See, like, those are completely different things. So you have to fix the first thing before the second part works. So the second part is I'm going to share my thoughts around what I do. And it could look like so many different things, y'all. It can look like this is what a day in my life is like. And be honest, right? Make sure that that reel looks like something other people can fit in. In my coaching group, I very often show up in my pickleball clothes. Why? Because that's how I work during the course of the day. I'm not always getting my makeup on. I'm not always there with clean hair. I work sometimes the way I roll out of bed, just like everybody else does. This recently in in the network marketing studio, confidence school. Sorry, got two different names going in my head. I accidentally posted a raw video of me, which had a bunch of things that I would have cut out. Thank goodness I did not swear. So I was like, okay. So I'd start like, hey guys, what I want to talk about today is, and then I literally was talking to myself like, no, that sounds cheesy. Okay, let me start again. All right. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today was this thing called, and then I screwed that up and I'm like, oh, shoot, not even that. Okay. All right, like, Jen, get your head together. So you're seeing like all of this conversation happening in this video. Now, my husband, who is the king of all things from Perfect Country, and he is my QA guy, gets on, watches it, and then tells me, girl, you posted the raw footage. And I'm like, oh, and I was immediately mortified because I hate that. I just do. Because I am a super big flake, just so you know. And I can embrace it, but I'm also very humiliated by it. So he went on and posted in the community, hey, sorry about that. There was a raw video, our mistake, oops, blah, 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 blah. And immediately people started chiming in and they're like, oh my gosh, we loved it. Like we loved seeing all of that because it was good to know that she's not perfect too. It was good to know that she's struggling with the same things that I'm struggling with. So all of that to say, people want to see like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and they don't want to see the highlight clips of what it's like to work with you. Because if you're authentic about that, if you connect in an authentic way, hear me when I say this, you will prevent them from quitting once they get in. So inside of the Network Marketing Confidence School, I did a whole training around why people quit. And I'm just going to give you the little show notes here, a little highlight here. People quit because there is a gap. They quit because there's a gap. There's an expectation gap. Now, if you're going full circle with me and having your aha moment here, if you're portraying the business in a different way than it actually is, then when they get in and they see that it's different, you have inadvertently created a gap. You've created a gap in the expectation. And this is why sometimes even when you get someone starting your business, that after 30 days, they ghost you because they feel betrayed. And there's a lot of shame as well. So you're always asking the question, is this authentic to the experience? Am I being authentic? And am I doing things in a way that other people look at, think to themselves, I can do that for sure. And I want to do that. Are you picking up what I'm laying down here? This is so fundamental. Even before you start talking about joining your team, which by the way, joining your team is too big of a jump, way too big of a jump. But I digress. All right. So what did we decide? We decided that, hey, lurkers are watching, people are watching. We need to make this business look like something they do want to do, regardless of what, Sally at the top of the company is doing. Sally is not you. Sally has been in differently. She's had different things happen to her, life expectation. Like she's in a different stage, not for you, and maybe not even the same personality and will never be. It is okay to say, that's good for her. I'm not doing that. I'm going to attract people that want to work this business the way that I'm working the business, which is with this calm, confident approach from a savvy standpoint, and not we're stay-at-home glorified salespeople. We are creating a community of like-minded people around subject X, Y, or Z. So there's that. The second thing is you have to be talking about your vision as much as you were talking about your product. Hey, by the way, and you guys, all you have to do is look in other segments of the channel. Like look at what other people do who have similar income sources. Everybody's selling some sort of high ticket something or other. I want you to look at how those people are presenting their deals and asking yourself, are they standing there doing like countdowns? Are they standing there telling that people like, hey, if you just do this, you're going to get this? Like what is the vibe? What are people attracted to? Given that people don't trust, am I creating trust for the because can I tell you something? Your content, even though people hate to hear this, your content should repel the slimers. I don't want slimy, get rich quick people. My content, they should look at it and go, oh, that's a joke. Whew. Thank goodness, dodge that bullet. Who I am trying to attract are women that want to work in a way that glorifies their faith, their family, their spouse, and who they really authentically are, and help other people do the same. That's what I'm doing. That's what you're doing. So make sure, like, clean it up. It's okay to clean it up. It's okay. But I really want to talk to all of you out there. They're like, I know there's a different way. I just don't know what it looks like. There is. There is. The next thing I want you to know is that you have to be talking to people throughout the business conversation, something that we call the customer journey, where you're always talking about there's other things here. There's other places for you. There's other ways that you can be involved. So, you know what? In Network Marketing 101, you're always telling people about the business. You're always, even as a customer, you're letting them know, hey, and I'm really excited for you to take this health journey, but I want to make you aware at any point in time that you decide you'd like to learn how to actually monetize the benefits you're getting from those products. There is a whole other level of involvement where you can create some monetization. I can show you some monetization strategies around how to leverage this and create some extra income for your family. Then you're also saying, and there's also a group of us like me that are working this in a more professional way. And there's always room on our team for smart, savvy women that align with the value of helping other people change their family's financial trajectory. Right? That's just a lot, but you have your version of that. But I'm saying it to people repeatedly, so that they understand that at any point in time where they think about like, hey, like I just got off a call with someone and she said the greatest thing to me. She said, I'm looking for those women that want to grow their business and to a point, honestly, she's like, I just wanted to be able to cut my daughter's hair when she needed a haircut and not when we had money for it. And I thought, wow, that's a really specific moment that a lot of women are going to resonate. And I was like, talk about that. Talk about that. What are the specific moments that creating an income could address for people? Is it, you know what? It's April, it's May, and we've already paid for our summer vacation. This is the first time in forever that we actually are having a proper summer vacation. For those of you wondering if this sort of thing creates that sort of income, the answer is it does when you work it properly. And my DMs are open to share with you how we're making this work. Maybe it's summer camp time. And for the first time, and I don't know when, I'm sending my kids off to the summer camp they want and not the summer camp that we can afford. I'm so grateful to have been able to learn how to create some extra income using my love of health and wellness, right? Do you see, like, this just becomes the specific moment that a woman is thinking about, I need some extra income. It could be, you know what? As a professional woman, I love my vacation time, but this year, my whole summer is my vacation time because this thing just turned into something that allowed me to do something I never thought I could do. And if you're sitting there wondering how to work your way out of, something you don't love, my DMs are open. Let's have a conversation. Like, it's not join my team, because that's a really vague thing. Again, you got to understand why you're in it. So many of you are sitting on gold mines. You're sitting on gold mines. Right now, people are looking for extra income and they're looking for someone to help them, to relieve them from financial stress. And the people who are winning the sponsoring game, the people who are winning the game of exponential growth, are bringing people in with the expectation, not that it's easy, Not that there's an endpoint that you just, that at some point you turn around and you get to collect a check. Not that you're working off the backs of other people, but they're bringing people in on a financial or an emotional or a community transformation that will create impact, the kind of impact that you don't want to just walk away from 30 days later. So I thought this was going to be a 15-minute podcast, and I rambled a little bit, and I could go on about recruiting because this is the conversation that you sponsoring. This is the conversation that takes your business to exponential levels and not this cycle ups and like, yes, there are ups and downs in your businesses, but there should be trends to those ups and downs. And after 90 days, if the trend is going down, you absolutely need to inject something different into your business. If that is you and you're like, I just need to know what you know, I have created an entry-level place for you to get to know me, to get to know what I'm talking about, to see that it's different. This isn't hype. This isn't mindset training. This isn't training for people that just want to feel good about their business but never actually create results. This is the thing that connects your dreams to your transformation. It's a great place to start. You can get in, you can get to know me. The DM is in the link. It starts with a 7-day trial. So you can decide while you are seeing this is very different than anything that you've experienced before. If you like this, make sure that you comment. If you want to see more content on this subject, make sure that you comment. Make sure that you like the post. Make sure that you comment and make sure that you are following me. I will see you in the community.